Sale of antibiotics without doctor's prescription must be stopped, said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Sunday during her meeting with Professor Timothy E. Walsh, Director of Biology Department of INEOS Institute of Antimicrobial Research, Oxford University, United Kingdom. Prime Minister Hasina said that earlier community clinics in Bangladesh were giving antibiotics, which has been completely stopped. Now antibiotics are being given through the public hospitals based on the prescription of doctors. Professor Timothy Walsh said that antimicrobial resistance has become an epidemic in the world right now, reports the official news agency BSS. He warned that if action is not taken now, it will take a dire turn in future, causing millions of deaths across the world. A record number of approximately 34,000 Bangladeshi people filed applications for asylum in the countries of European Union Plus in 2022, says European Union Agency for Asylum EUAA. It is the highest number of asylum applications from Bangladeshi citizens since at least 2008. In 2021, the total number of asylum applications from Bangladesh was close to 20,000. However, the recognition rates for asylum seekers from Bangladesh was low at 5% or less. Overall, almost 1 million asylum applications were received by EU plus countries in 2022, which is 50% higher than the number in 2021. This is the highest number of applications for seeking asylum in EU plus countries since 2016. EU plus countries include all the countries of European Union plus Liechtenstein, Norway and Switzerland. The largest number of applications were received from Syrians, Afghans and Turks. According to EUAA, 1.32 lakh people from Syria, 1.29 from Afghanistan and 55,000 people from Turkey applied for asylum in EU plus countries in 2022. The figures don't include around 4 million Ukrainian people fleeing the war and seeking temporary asylum. In 2022, the EU plus asylum authorities issued 6.32 lakh decisions at first instance, which is about 20% higher compared to 2021. However, the applications increased far more in 2022 compared to last year, which was reflected in the largest number of pending cases of asylum applications in EU countries since 2015. The EU plus recognition rate was 40% in 2022, up by 5% compared to 2021. Around 1.47 lakh people were granted refugee status and 1.06 lakh people received subsidiary protection in EU plus countries in 2022. Antarctica's sea ice shrunk to a record low last week. US researchers said it is its lowest extent in the 45 years of satellite record keeping. The National Snow and Ice Data Center, NSIDC, at the University of Colorado said on February 21st, Antarctica's ice sea fell to 1.79 million square kilometers. This has surpassed the previous low record by 136,000 square kilometers registered in 2022. Although these figures are preliminary, since further late-season melt is still a possibility, according to NSIDC scientists. Melting sea ice exposes the thicker ice shelves buttressing Antarctica's ground ice sheet to waves and warmer temperatures. The high melt rate raises concern that a significant downward trend may be taking a grip as it accelerates global warming. A Russian Soyuz spacecraft has arrived at International Space Station on a mission to bring 3 crew members back to Earth. The unmanned Soyuz blasted off on Friday from Kazakhstan. About 48 hours later, it docked at the ISS. It is replacing the original return vehicle that was found to have a coolant leak from a capsule last December. The discovery forced US Space Agency NASA and Russia's state space corporation Roscosmos to postpone their plan to send the crew back to Earth on the vehicle. It is expected to bring home US astronaut Frank Rubio and Russian cosmonauts Dmitry Petlin and Sergei Prokopyev in September. The vehicle with the leakage will be separated from the ISS in March to come back to Earth without any crew. The NASA says the leakage did not pose any risk to 7 astronauts at ISS. One Japanese astronaut is among them. There are 4 others currently on board the ISS who arrived on a SpaceX Dragon capsule last October as a part of Crew 5 mission. They are scheduled to be joined next week by the members of Crew 6 mission, 2 Americans, an Emirati, and a Russian, who will also arrive aboard a SpaceX capsule expected to be launched from Florida. The ongoing economic crisis in Pakistan has badly hit the healthcare system, where patients have been struggling for essential medicines. The lack of forest reserves in the country has affected Pakistan's capacity to import the required medicines. As a result, the local pharmaceutical manufacturers have been forced to slash their production as patients suffer in hospitals. As per Pakistan media reports, the operation theatres are left with less than 2 weeks stock of anesthetics needed for sensitive surgeries, including for heart, cancer, and kidney. The drug makers have blamed the financial system for the crisis in the healthcare system by claiming that commercial banks are not issuing new letters of credit for their imports. The drug makers have blamed the financial system, with almost 95% of the drugs requiring raw materials from other nations, including India. The drug manufacturing industry has said that the cost of making drugs is constantly increasing due to rising fuel cost, transportation charges, and sharp devaluation of Pakistani rupee. Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has received the Porter Prize 2023. It recognized government strategy in managing COVID-19, also the approach and involvement of various stakeholders, especially involvement of ASHA workers in the industry to create PPE kits. The prize was announced during the India Dialogue at Stanford University. The country's contribution in developing and manufacturing vaccine was also lauded. Porter Prize is named after the award-winning economist Michael E. Porter. He has brought economic theory and strategic concept to bear on many of the most challenging problems faced by corporations, economies, and societies, including market competition and company strategy, economic development, the environment, and healthcare. He is also the most cited scholar today in economics and business. Thousands of people took to Portugal capital Lisbon's streets to demand better living conditions. Portugal is struggling with a cost of living crisis due to inflation. House prices in Portugal rose 18.7% in 2022, the biggest increase in 3 decades, and rents have also increased significantly in part due to a speculative property bubble. The protest was organized by Fair Life Movement, which was created by people who live in Lisbon's poorer outskirts. It said those who were already the most vulnerable before inflation soared were the ones being the hardest hit by the ongoing cost of living crisis. It further said that they want higher wages, a cap on the prices of essential goods, and government action on housing. Portugal is one of the Western Europe's poorest countries, with government data showing more than 50% of the workers earned less than €1,000 per month last year. The monthly minimum wage is 760 euros. The White House has given US federal agencies 30 days to purge Chinese-owned video snippet sharing app TikTok from all government-issued devices and systems, setting a deadline to comply with a ban ordered by US Congress. In a bid to keep US data safe, Office of Management and Budget Director Shalanda Yang, in a memorandum, called on government agencies to remove and disallow installation of application on agency-owned or operated IT devices and to prohibit internet traffic from such devices to the app within 30 days. The ban does not apply to businesses in United States not associated with the federal government or to millions of private citizens of the country who use hugely the popular app. Owned by Chinese tech giant ByteDance, TikTok has become a political target due to concerns the global popular app can be circumvented for spying or propaganda by the Chinese Communist Party. The law signed by US President Joe Biden last month bans the use of TikTok on government-issued devices. The law also bans TikTok use in the US House of Representatives and Senate. National security concerns in the country over alleged China spying have grown over the past month after a Chinese balloon traversed US airspace and was eventually shot down. The Canadian government on Monday banned TikTok from all of its phones and other devices, citing fears about how much access Beijing has to its user data. According to the annual World Bank report, which covers 190 countries, the UAE scored 82.5 out of 100 possible points across 35 sub-indicators divided into 8 major areas of the report: mobility, workplace, pay, marriage, parenthood, entrepreneurship, assets, and pension. It is worth noting that the UAE is a regional and global leader in enacting legislation and regulations that support women's rights and workplace roles. The UAE's commitment to this cause dates back to 2012, when the UAE cabinet passed legislation requiring the presence of women on the boards of government entities, making the UAE the first country in the region and the second in the world to do so. In 2015, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Prime Minister of United Arab Emirates, announced the formation of UAE Gender Balance Council, a federal entity tasked with developing and implementing UAE's gender balance agenda. The council's goals are to close the gender gap in all government sectors, achieve gender balance in decision-making positions, and promote UAE as the model for gender balance legislation. UAE GBZ has worked with various federal entities to introduce and reform over 20 laws concerning employee benefits, equal access to credit, political participation, personal status, judiciary, wages, freedom of movement, marriage, entrepreneurship, assets, and pensions. These reforms are aimed at increasing women's economic participation and protecting their rights. Her Highness Sheikh Manal bin Mohammed bin Rashid, President of UAE Gender Balance Council, President of Dubai Women Establishment, commended the UAE's success in providing women with equal opportunity through a series of legislation and policies aimed at ensuring that women continue to contribute to the nation's progress and build a better future for present and future generations. She also emphasized that UAE's progress in women's empowerment aligns with leadership's vision of making UAE the best nation in the world by 2070. Bangladeshi citizens can now avail citizenship of 44 more new countries while keeping their Bangladeshi citizenship. The decision to expand the existing list of 57 countries to 101 countries for which Bangladeshi people can keep dual citizenship was cleared by the cabinet on Monday. Briefing media in Dhaka on Monday, Cabinet Secretary said that the proposal of a dual citizenship was proposed by the Security Services Division of the Home Ministry, which was approved by the Cabinet. Out of these 44 countries, 19 countries are in Africa, 12 countries are in South America, 12 countries are in Caribbean region, and one in Oceania. The new list includes Egypt, South Africa, Kenya, Algeria, Sudan, Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina, Peru, Chile, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Fiji, among others. Bangladesh allows for dual citizenship under limited circumstances based on procedures prescribed by the government. Bangladeshi origin people who are citizens of USA, UK, Australia, Canada, and Europe are allowed to take up dual citizenship of Bangladesh. Such people, based on their application and fulfilling certain conditions, are issued a dual nationality certificate and they can obtain a Bangladeshi passport apart from the passport of those countries. However, people with dual citizenship are not permitted to become the member of parliament or contest elections in Bangladesh. People from SARC region are not allowed to have dual citizenship as per Bangladeshi law. In USA, after a rare snowfall dusted Los Angeles, Southern California is bracing for a series of weak storms. According to the National Weather Service, it will bring wind and rain this week to coastal areas, while northern and central California mountain could see more heavy snow. Iran's currency fell into a new record low amid the nationwide anti-government protests and the breakdown of 2015 nuclear deal. Traders in Tehran were exchanging the rial at around 6 lakh to the dollar after the currency plunged further from 5 lakh rials for $1 on Wednesday. Peru government announces the launch of more than 30 public-private projects worth nearly $9 billion to revitalize economy. Pakistan government has agreed to increase the policy interest rate by 2% to meet another condition set by International Monetary Fund. The current interest rate is 17%. Vietnam parliament elects Vo Van Kung as new president. Countries of South Asian region should tap the potential of mutual complementaries to realize the thriving possibilities of cooperation with each other, said Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen.